welcome to Broad Appeal, a show about boss women and queen bees, where we feature inspirational women who are writing and living by their own rules. So today we are interviewing Nora Yousif of RBC in Easton. Nora is a financial advisor and vice president at RBC Wealth Management and the founder of the Women, Wine, and Wall Street series. Welcome, Nora.
Thank you, Melissa, for having me.
Yes, we're super happy to talk about finances today.
Woohoo!
And wine. So, Nora, you're in a family business. Now tell me how your family came to be in the wealth management business.
Sure. Well, it all started with my grandfather, who was a stockbroker or trader on the New York Stock Exchange in the 50s in New York City.
Nice.
He was one of the bidders, old school, one of the bidders before computers really ran all the trades. And so he did that in the 50s and then got homesick and moved back to the South Shore in Easton and started his career as a broker, which eventually evolved. His son joined in 1987. And the role evolved into a financial advisor, more holistic. And then I came along and figured, well, I can't let all the guys have all the fun. So I came along after doing a stint in consulting and just fell in love with the business. It's a great cross-section of analysis, of math, yet also relationships and getting to hear people's stories.
So you can like super geek out, but then you can still like talk to humans and, you know, be social and that sort of thing?
Exactly.
It sounds kind of perfect. So did you, knowing that you grew up in this business, did you ever reject it, or did you always sort of say, you know what, this is totally for me, that I belong here?
Well, I think like most people, I never listened to my parents.
Yeah.
And so I was pursuing a career in medicine and
was on the med
school track and got cold feet senior year, second semester, and did a stint doing biotech consulting. And from there, I really fell in love with it by mistake. I was working out of one of their empty offices, and I always thought finance was cold, and I couldn't relate to it until there I was, eating my own words, sitting in an empty office of my stepdad and his father, my grandpa, and I saw the hugs, and I saw the thank yous they were getting from people, and I thought, whoa, whoa, whoa. This is something worth paying attention to and something much warmer than I ever would have anticipated.
Well, like the medical field, they're still helping people. At the end of the day, you're still helping people in a slightly different way, but this is important.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, we all have finances to deal with, and, you know, there is a personal element. Absolutely. It's not just the numbers and the geeking out. And all
right.
That, so.
Not saving lives, but we're helping the lives and helping to improve the lives of thousands.
Totally.
So, yeah,
totally.
It's really neat.
So you definitely seem like the type of person that likes to go to work every day. And we all envy that. So what's your favorite thing about what you do right now?
You know, my favorite thing is hearing people's stories. I love to learn about where they are, what got them to where they are, where they want to go, and what I can do to help them out.
Yeah.
Of course, that involves finances and any other aspect of their lives. Maybe it's making a connection for them. So I love the unknown of someone's story and getting to know about them.
Okay, so you're like an old school networker too. You just like to meet new people. You like to learn about all kinds of different things and not just their numbers.
Right.
Well, that's fantastic.
I always say in a past life, I think I was an educator because I love also educating through the seminars I do, through the segments on local TV and radio as well. So it's always fun to educate and bring some good information to the forefront.
Absolutely. So what do you see? I mean, you like to work with women a lot, obviously. We've talked about that offline. So what do you see as the most problematic financial situation with women today?
Great question. I see the biggest problem being that there's a mental block that finance is not for them, which couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, just like air, you need money to survive, and it relates to all of us. So there's no reason for money and finance not to be our place. So I find once we get into a comfortable setting, and once people are able to ask questions, they come to a better understanding, then the right questions are answered, and then the knowledge and education starts to happen. So it's really just removing that mental block and realizing and stepping into their own and realizing, why can't I tackle this? Why can't I figure it out? And frankly, the guys, it's not like they know that much more. They just may be a little more confident about what they know.
Right. They fake it a little better.
Exactly.
They fake it a little better than we do.
Exactly.
So are you talking about sort of personal finances, or women looking into getting into a financial career, or that sort of thing, or all of it?
Yeah, well, personal finance, and I say it relates in two ways. One, the less apt you are comfortable and thinking money is taboo to talk about, the less apt you're going to ask for more money on the job.
Yes.
And secondly, the less educated you are on finance, the less likely you're going to make good financial decisions for yourself and your family.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. So, given that, what are one or two things that women can do right now to get into better financial shape or be more comfortable with money and finances?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I would say seek someone out where you're comfortable talking about finances with, because it's so important to work with someone where you don't feel intimidated and you don't feel like, oh, I maybe shouldn't ask this question.
And what's the best way to find somebody who you feel comfortable with? How would you do that?
Yeah, I strongly encourage you interview folks like myself, other advisors, because you just need to find that person that you connect with and you feel comfortable with.
Right.
So that's the step number one.
Okay.
And step number two is knowledge is power, and money is power too, in the sense that it gives you a little backing when you walk into a room knowing, hey, you've got an emergency fund, check. You've got your retirement savings happening for yourself, check.
Right.
And you're not wallowing in debt.
Right. Which so many people are these days, especially younger women getting out of college, and they've got this crippling student loans and that sort of thing. So being more comfortable, interviewing people, talking to people, and getting those really important things like retirement and debt in order. So is this why you started the Women, Wine, and Wall Street series? Because you see these pervasive issues specifically with women?
Yes, it's exactly why. And I noticed there were these types of offerings in Boston, but not so much when you get outside the city. So
no, you have to trek in.
Yeah, there was a void and a gap here, and I thought, well, instead of me complaining about it, why don't I do something about it and offer an opportunity where women can feel comfortable, supported, and have a fun night out as well, because these are really fun events.
So can you tell me a little bit more about what they're like, and more importantly, how much wine there is?
The wine is unlimited. So I started, this is a 5th year of running it. I've held it in Easton in past years.
And so they've always been in Easton.
They've always been in Easton.
And now we're sort of branching out a bit.
First year in Milton to bring it closer to Boston.
Okay.
Plus, I couldn't resist the beautiful Yousif Estate Museum.
Absolutely.
And so there are 2 track a night. They're on Thirsty Thursdays, of course.
Perfect.
2 track a night. First half is financial, which I'll offer a financial education component. And then the second half is personal development, where we talk about anything but money. So something that relates and is still thematic for the evening. Plus, we have a sommelier there that evening, and we have appetizers and music. So it's a really just fun night out.
Okay, that sounds awesome. So when you do the financial education, can you give us like a little quick peek as to what it would be like?
Yeah, so for this first session, December 7th, I'll be talking about money mindset guidelines. So to teach your family, because saving and making smart decisions with your money is really a family effort. So giving your kids the tools to make the right decisions. So also when they become adults, they don't still have their hand out to you.
Yes.
I'll also be discussing ways to get more money out of colleges for financial aid. So many people are quick to write themselves off and say, I make too much money, I'm not getting any money.
Yeah.
Not correct, not necessarily true.
Interesting, okay.
Yes, other items is ways to increase your Social Security benefit or that of your parents. There's a ton of loopholes in the system. Another topic I'll be covering is how to protect your family. Say you've built and you've done well, but how do you protect that family from the tax man, from squandering the money, and all different kinds of loopholes and things that can go wrong?
This sounds awesome. Like, I can't wait. I feel like I'll be way more educated in all these things when I leave, and I'll have some more wine. So the first one is Thursday, December 7th. It's at 6 o'clock.
Correct.
It's at the Yousif Estate, and it features Heather Unruh. Now, what will she be discussing that night?
Yes, so the theme that night is Massachusetts millionaires, saying and doing the right things. And in Massachusetts, 45% of the millionaires here in our state are women.
Nice.
So I'll be talking about doing the right things. I'll speak on that financially. And then she'll talk about how to sound like a millionaire and communicate effectively. After all, she's an award-winning reporter and news anchor, so she knows a thing or two about getting her word out.
Right, absolutely. So how do people, this is a free event, so how can people register? How can they learn more? Where should they go?
Yes, it's a free event. I anticipate us maxing out. I will keep a wait list, so still reach out. You can RSVP to my email at nora.yousif@rbc.com or visit my website at williamsinvestmentgroup.rbc.com. And happy to have you.
And so, but this isn't the only one. So if we can't attend this one,
Right.
there are going to be 2 more? Is that right?
Yes, 2 more.
Okay, so when is the next one?
Next one is January 25th. It's on life hacks of health and wealth. So again, I'll get into those college tricks, social security tricks, protection tricks. And then I'm bringing in this really interesting gal who's on the Today Show, bringing her to Milton.
Nice.
She's a founder of Sage Tonic and has these great life hacks about getting better sleep, reducing your stress, losing some few extra pounds around the holidays. So she'll be really interesting.
And so she's on January, what's the date again?
Yep, January 25th.
Okay, and then the next one will be in February, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, and who will we be talking to in February?
Great question. So that'll be February 22nd.
Okay.
Also a Thursday night, of course. And for that, I'll be talking about, the topic is putting your best foot in cute heels forward. And the topic there, I'll be talking about things to do to make your finances look as best as they can and some mistakes to avoid. I'll also be bringing in this gal who literally wrote the book on branding yourself, whether you're on the job or off the job, how to brand yourself effectively. And for fun, I'm throwing in a stylist to make sure that we look at our best. And she'll be talking about how to make yourself look the best you can during the winter drab.
Nice. Nice, and we're coming up on that already now with our puffy coats and whatnot. Okay, so this is super holistic. I mean, it's not just numbers, it's not just finance. It's a little bit of wine, it's a little bit of fun, it's a little bit of branding, and making yourself feel good. So so there's a max though. There is a max for this.
Yeah, there is a max.
Okay.
Last event I had over 200 people. Unfortunately, I love the UC State Museum, but we are limited to capacity. So the capacity is 95 people.
Right, so we have to RSVP quickly.
RSVP as soon as you can. I'll keep a wait list, do the best I can to accommodate.
Absolutely. Okay, so again, now how do people need to get in touch with you? They can email you for any more information or to RSVP, right?
Yes,
Nora.
Exactly. Yep, Nora, Nora.Yousif, Yousif @rbc.com, or give me a ring, 508-230-8960.
So here on Broad Appeal, we like to take breaks, and we invite you today to take a break with us by learning how to make a new cocktail. Today I'm going to be making a mojito. So in order to make a mojito, you are going to need rum, ice, more rum, lime juice, some mint, sugar, and soda or seltzer water. And the soda or seltzer water can be plain, or you can mix it up a little bit by having an orange flavor or some other kind of, citrus blend, which makes it a little bit more exciting. So the first step in making a mojito is you are going to want to put about 6 teaspoons of sugar into your cocktail shaker. Now in a pinch, you can use a coffee mug. I use a travel coffee mug if I'm pretty desperate. So today though, I have this really fancy one. So we're going to put in about 6 teaspoons of sugar, and we're going to mix that with about 10 to 12 mint leaves. Now this mint was picked fresh today, so it smells unbelievable. So I'm going to break up the mint into a few different pieces. I would avoid putting the stem in there because you don't want that floating around in your cocktail later. So once you have this broken up, you're going to muddle it. Now I have a fancy muddler today, but I usually use a wooden spoon. So you can use a wooden spoon in your coffee cup if you are in a pinch. So what I'm going to do is start crushing up the sugar and the mint. And what you want to do is really release the flavor. And you know you're doing that when you can really smell it coming up. It just smells absolutely delicious, and it starts to get sort of mushy inside. So once I do that, and the flavor has been released, I'm going to add the rum. Now I have pre-measured the rum. So this is about 2 shot glasses. You can go a little bit less depending how you're feeling. So put that in. Then I'm going to also add about the same ratio of lime juice with maybe just a little bit less. So maybe 1.5 shot glasses of the lime juice. I'm going to add that. And I'm going to throw in a couple ice cubes. Put the top on. Shake it up. For not too long. So when you're done, you're going to either, depending on how you like your mojito, some people like it strained. So if you like it strained, you're going to take this off and, leave this on and strain it. But if you like it sort of minty like I do and a little bit green, pour the whole thing in. It smells. Then you're going to add a little bit of soda water. And again, the amount of soda water really depends on how you're feeling. So I would say about 1/2 cup. Stir it up and enjoy. Oh my God, it's delicious. Hi everybody, we are back again at Broad Appeal, and we're talking to Nora Yousif of RBC Wealth Management and the hostess of the Women, Wine, and Wall Street series. And Nora's going to tell us a bit about a little bit of life wisdom today. So, what do you got for us, Nora?
Well, I would say my biggest life hack I'd like to offer viewers is for the women listening, be your own sugar mama.
All right, how do we be our own sugar mama?
Okay, so the ways to do that are threefold, and I bring this up because all we can expect in life is change. Am I wrong?
Oh, no, you're absolutely right. And it's constant and unanticipated.
Exactly, exactly. So for any of us who have tried to have a 5-year, 10-year plan, you know how this works. So whether it's job loss or death, the average age of widowhood is 59 years old.
Holy cow.
I know. It's surprising, but I see it more often than I'd like to, and it's a real number. Plus also divorce. So no matter what life is throwing at you, you want to make sure you are bulletproof for whatever comes your way. So the best way to do that, again, is to be your own sugar mama. And there's 3 ways to get that done. First and foremost, I would say make sure you have your own credit. I've seen it over and over where a husband and wife, the husband, they relied on his credit, and all of a sudden something happens to him, he's no longer in the picture, and the wife or surviving spouse can no longer have a mortgage in her own name because she doesn't have the credit built.
Wow.
So particularly if you own your own business, you're not going to be able to just show one pay stub. You'll have to show 2 years of work history to get that mortgage. So really be thinking about the what ifs of what if something happens, how will I make everything still work? So credit is a big piece of that for yourself. Secondly, I would also remind you to always be putting money away. I can't say this enough. Whether it's your emergency fund or for your retirement, again, to make sure you are independently financially secure for no matter what happens in life.
Now, given the emergency fund and the retirement fund, I know this question's going to come up. Someone's out there going, how much is enough? How much is enough? What is it?
Yes.
What's the magic number?
Yeah, there's no magic number because it always depends on what you need. But for emergency funds, I like 3 to 6 months worth of paying all the bills and the mortgage and everything else. Now for retirement, again, it depends on your age and what your needs are, but odds are you should be putting more away. At the very least, be matching what your company matches. Otherwise, you're throwing money away. Right. And even if you are still maxing out, you can add an IRA. Or if you are working for yourself and you're thinking, well, shoot, I don't have a fancy 401k, no excuses. Because you have an IRA, which you can start in your own right. Costs about $10 to set up. It's very cheap. You can put away as much as $5,500 a year or $6,500 if you're over than 50. Or if you want to do more than that, you can knock the lid off of a 401k and put money into what's called a SEP IRA.
Oh, interesting.
And a SEP IRA is like an IRA on steroids. It allows you to put away up to 25% of what you're earning, or $54,000.
Okay.
So
this is something new, I think, for a lot of us. This is new for me.
Yeah, it's not new, but a lot of people don't know about it.
Right.
So it does sound new, yeah.
It is truly wisdom. Okay.
Yes. So that's really great to be aware of. And again, it's easy to set up. So always be putting money away. And lastly, I would say, especially this pertains to women, and I always say Social Security is a women's issue because when you are, as many women do, have to make the difficult decision once they have children of, do I go back to work? If I do go back to work, how many hours do I do? Do I go full-time, part-time, or just focus 100% on the kids? There's no harder, more difficult job to do, and I respect everyone's decision. You do what's best for your family. That being said, I encourage you to keep some hand in work. So that way you're paying some FICA tax dollars into your future Social Security benefit. And that doesn't sound like it's something relevant because who cares about Social Security? You're still working and young and youthful. However, a low income paying year is far better than a zero income paying year, and it will drastically affect your benefit down the line.
Okay, these are all great tips. Thank you so much again for being with us today and for your words of wisdom. And again, everybody, for more information about Nora and our show and future shows and more words of wisdom, please visit us at www.broad-appeal.com, and thanks.